Hey guys, Gemma from ASD Rocks with Beau here, wanting to talk about our experience with, what was it with? What?
Chemistry.
Chemistry. So it wasn't just one experience, was it? There were a few things that were causing. So what was the first thing that sort of was making you stress out, do you think, when you came?
I noticed that when I was needing help with chemistry questions, my emails weren't being responded to.
Okay, so you'd come home at night to do questions, and you'd write an email to your chemistry teacher, which is not something that's something that you've totally done during lockdown all the time, isn't it? So that's not unusual for you to do, which is to email a teacher with questions. And what happened then? What were you getting answers?
Nope.
No. What? Why did you ask the teacher why she wasn't answering your questions?
She said that she wasn't on dial 24/7.
Yeah. Okay. And then there was an experiment that you had to do, and you couldn't understand something in that, why they were doing something. What was that?
Putting on safety gear.
Yeah. So you had to do, what was the experiment?
It was putting an Aspro tablet in water. That's it.
Yep. And they were making you wear what kind of safety gear?
A lab jacket, safety goggles, gloves. You put Barocca in a glass of water and you don't wear that.
True. So
why is Aspro any different?
Yeah. So then we sort of had a chat about how, we're setting up for just sort of wearing that stuff generally, but you sort of still couldn't get your head around it, could you?
No.
Do you still, I mean, you did the experiment and you wore the gear, but do you understand why they made you wear it for that?
To prepare me for other experiments?
Yeah, to prepare you for other experiments. But even then, you were still like, it's just Aspro. It was hard for you to...
Yeah.
Is it still hard for you to understand why?
Well, I get the reason why, but it just seems a bit irrational putting safety precautions on aspirin.
Yeah. Like, why now and why not before? When you experimented, when you dissected eyeballs, you weren't wearing all that stuff, were you?
I don't know. It's hard for me to remember.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So you sort of like, well, we've done experiments before in the lab and we've never worn all this gear. Why are we doing it for Aspro? Is that what the problem was?
No, it's just why we're doing it for Aspro.
Okay.
Like, it just seems a bit exaggerated, the safety precautions.
Yeah, okay. And then you went up to the teacher to say, and you told her that you were struggling in a particular area. Is that right? You said, this is where I struggle?
Yeah, it was about a test, and she just kept telling me to keep practicing.
So it was for a test, and it was for what, like a short answer section?
Yeah, and it was just explaining my answer.
So you were having trouble explaining your answer, and you said to her, what were the words you used? Do you remember? This is...
Like, I think it was a practice test, like...
Okay.
But I'm not too sure. I think it's... I'm not too sure, but... It was like... this is the area in which I struggle, and she just kept telling me to keep practicing.
Okay. So, which, by the way, I'm so super proud of you. I want you to know that I'm incredibly proud of you for going up to your teacher and saying, hey, this is an area, like letting you, your communication, we've been working so hard on that. And I just want to let you know that doing that, not all kids do that. And it can be really hard to go up to a teacher and say, hey, listen, this is where I really struggle. So the fact that you didn't 100% get, maybe like an answer on how to go through it, I'm really proud of you for doing that. Okay. Then you approached
reaction.
A teacher in recess or something. There was
I approached at lunch.
Yep.
And for some reason, I asked her about a question, and she told me the answer. And for some reason, my brain just decided to forget that information.
Okay, because you didn't have anything to write it down, so you forgot it. So you came home and you're a bit stressed out because you'd already asked, and you'd already forgotten.
Yeah, I was actually irritated by my brain.
Oh, wait, honey, I'm irritated by my brain almost every day. I wish I had a brain your size to be irritated by. Okay, so I'm just going to try and move this in so we can, because I'm shaking a bit. I'm going to rest it there. Is that all right?
All right.
So then there was a rubric issue.
Yeah, that was taken care of.
Yeah, but you came home one day because I remember you saying to me, I just see no end in sight or something.
Yeah, the rubric didn't look like it was going to be modified anytime soon.
That was what you said. It's not going to be modified anytime soon, and it was causing you. So are all these things that have been difficult for you, are they all the same subject?
Yeah.
It's all the same subject. Okay. So it was all starting to build up, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a project that you had to do. It was a poster.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all right. If you move, it moves the camera. What do you need? Like that? There?
Yeah, I guess so.
There, like that? Yes. So then you had a project. And the project was...
like writing the hypothesis and aim and materials and results down.
Of what?
Of the experiment.
Which was the Aspro experiment?
Yeah.
Okay. And you got stuck somewhere.
Yeah, the introduction and conclusion.
Yeah, okay. Now, what was it that caused you to just completely get overwhelmed?
It was the fact that I needed to include in the introduction the background information, the collision theory, what Aspro is, and the actual experiment. Right.
Sounds like you knew exactly what you had to do. What was it that was distressing?
Because I didn't know what the background... I didn't know where to find the background research. Like, I don't think I was allowed to see what my questions were.
Well, you don't know if you're allowed to see what your questions were. Okay?
Like, the background research.
Yeah. So, is that like you didn't know... So, did you tell your teacher you were having trouble with the introduction?
Oh, I kept saying that I'm feeling stressed.
Is that all you said, though? I'm feeling stressed? Because that's not really telling her what the problem was. No, do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you say, I feel stressed, did she say, what are you stressed about?
No.
Oh, okay. When were you asking her? When were you approaching her? During class, after class, before class?
It was during class.
And what would she say when you said you were stressed, baby?
Like, it was... I mainly kept telling my aide that I was feeling stressed.
Okay, because you had an aide for this, but you said that your aide wasn't helpful for a particular reason.
Yeah, because she wasn't there for the majority of the research.
So if she wasn't there for the research, she couldn't help you write up the results.
Yeah.
So the aide couldn't actually help you put together.
Well, she was trying to help.
Of course, everybody's trying to help. Even your teacher's trying to help. It's just what we're trying to do is find out how this all created our code black. Right? How over weeks of trying to communicate that you're feeling the tension, you're stressed out, it's building up and building up. How did it end up not being dealt with and dispersed for you to be able, because you came to me last week and you said that you wanted to quit chemistry. You said,
no,
can I not do chemistry?
I don't think I was trying to quit.
Okay, that's good to know. What were you thinking?
I was thinking that because I practically had chemistry in the morning. It was basically the only days that I would be stress free on if the poster was still was ongoing. Basically, the only stress-free days were Fridays.
When you didn't have chemistry.
Yeah.
So, did that affect your other classes as well, out of curiosity? No, you were able to sort of just only, be stressed out, but not really let it affect your other classes?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's great. That's brilliant. That means that we've been working on your stress and sort of refining it to the point where, it's not affecting other things. And that's another thing that you can walk away and say, you know what, I did a really good job with this. So the other thing that was really hard was that you weren't allowed to bring the work home, were you?
No.
It had to stay in the class.
Yeah.
And do you think that if you were allowed to bring the work home, it would have been easier to do? Like you could have...
No, I don't think so.
No? So that wasn't an issue at all?
No.
Okay, good to know. It's good to know. It's really important to know. So then on Tuesday you came home because you had... It was Tuesday, wasn't it? And it was Tuesday. And it was all too much. All of these little things, these asking questions, saying that you were stressed, all these things were building up and you weren't sort of getting results, and it was all building up inside of you until finally you came home and I can't even remember what you said. Oh, that's right. You walked in the door here and you were in tears, weren't you? And you were sort of just sitting, rocking next to me in bed. And I said, we talked about it. And I said, what can we do? And you were just, I don't know. You sort of really just completely, I don't know. I was like, let's go get a bunny. Let's, remember, is that what we did? Let's go get a bunny. I said, what did I say what did I say to you when you came in? And it was just absolute, couldn't focus, couldn't think on anything else, couldn't work out.
Couldn't think straight.
Yeah. Do you remember what I said to you? I said, we'll work this out.
I'm not too sure about that one.
Do you remember I said, have I ever let you down? I'll always get things worked out for you.
I'm not too sure.
No?
No.
Do you remember... Oh, yeah, you don't remember anything from that, do you? You seem to be completely... So, all right. So, how did we get through it? That's the biggest part that I really want to sort of let people know. How did we get from complete meltdown to getting you through? So, what happened the next day? Because you had chemistry at 10 o'clock the next day.
Well, 9:45.
Oh, 9:45. Okay. So we spoke to someone from school We caught, do you remember having a phone call conversation with someone from school?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did he say?
He said that we'll sort things out.
Yeah.
We'll have something called a scribe.
So that night, on the Tuesday night, he said, right, you've told us what the problem is. We're going to fix this. And he said, I don't want you to think about
this
it at all.
Oh.
Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Don't remember anything from that night. Wow, this is a kid who can remember where he's been from when he was 3 years old.
Well,
no, it's interesting. It's a psychological interesting that under stress, you're not maintaining information at all. When your brain is producing what is giving you stress and anxiety, you're not actually taking in, you're not capable of taking in or retaining or even remembering information from that time. That's very interesting from a psychology point of view. That will be good to remember in psychology later on. So Jenny came, your tutor, and she helped you out as well. What did she help you out with?
With the structure of the poster?
So she, with the structure of introductions and things like that, and how to do it all. And then so the person we spoke to at school said, that's it, mate. You're stressed. I don't want you to be stressed. I don't want you to think about this anymore at all. Forget about chemistry. I don't want you to think about it until we've completely fixed it. It's in our hands now, so don't worry about it. And then the next morning you woke up and you got a special text. What did that text say?
It said that I could stay home for periods 1 and 2.
Yep. And did you?
Yeah.
And how did that feel, knowing that you weren't going to chemistry that day?
Felt relieving.
Yeah, you felt relieved. Yeah. So did all that stress in the morning when you were going to get up in the morning and go to school, did all of that go away?
Yeah.
Yeah? Awesome. So you knew that you weren't going to have to go back until everything was all fixed up, because you were saying all night to me, even after he said, don't, you were like, what am I going to do when I turn up? What am I going to do when I turn up? And I had to write you a note, didn't I? But you didn't end up going, so you didn't end up having to use that note, which is super awesome. And then we got a phone call on Wednesday night from the same person at school who said, all right, this is what we're going to do. What was it that he did?
I was going to go to his office rather than chemistry to write down and he was going to ask me questions and I would answer them, but not write them down. He was going to write them down.
So he basically, to finish off this project, he acted as your scribe, which I have since found out, sorry about the wobbling, guys, which I have since found out is something you're allowed to have during VCE. I had no idea, but you're actually allowed to have a scribe. So you went in to his office and he asked you questions. You answered those questions with the information that you needed. You gave all of the information to him. And what did he do?
Write them down.
He wrote it down for you. And did that help? Did that help?
Yeah.
How did it help? Why was it easier to talk to him than it was to write it yourself?
I don't necessarily know.
Don't know?
No.
Just was.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then that project was what?
Finished?
And completed. And handed in, wasn't it? And that's the end of it. So couple of things, what did we learn? What have you felt that you learned from this? Because it was a pretty massive incident. We haven't had a big code black like that for a long time over school. We haven't had a stress out like that. for a really long time. So what do you think? What did you learn? You sort of the thing is, you're leaning away from me. I keep see how I. That's why I'm falling further and further over. So, what did you learn from all of this? Or what do you think you might have learned from all of this? Or if you haven't, that's fine. Nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I can tell you one thing, that coming to me and telling me what your stresses are definitely helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because would we have been able to do anything if you hadn't have come? Nope. We wouldn't have been able to fix it. Not at all. So communication is definitely the key. You have to let us know. But you had been, hadn't you? You'd been telling me every single day when you came home from school. Every single day you'd been saying, I'm stressed. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. And we just weren't getting anywhere, were we?
No.
Until finally you just had a complete breakdown, because fair enough, you were trying really hard to communicate. And I want you to know how proud I am of you for that communication. It is not easy to approach a teacher at all, ever. If teachers are like they were when I was a kid, it's not easy to approach a teacher. Sometimes you feel, like maybe you're naughty because you especially with the results that you were getting, someone saying, well, just, keep practicing, or, hey, I'm not on call 24/7, which is true. They're not, right? Teachers are not on call 24/7. They have families and homes and Netflix, just like we do. But I think, you persisted in trying to communicate over and over again, and that's what caused this complete shutdown. And I've learned that maybe I let it go too far. I tried communicating too. I tried writing a couple of emails as well, but maybe I wasn't as direct as I needed to be. And maybe I failed you a little bit in that, because I saw you coming home every single time, every single day, after every single session, and you were saying to me the same things, new things each time, but the same things. I'm stressing about this, and just built and built and built in you. I should have contacted my code black dude a lot earlier and made it a code brown, not a code black, So I have things to learn as well, because I let you down in that situation. I'm sorry for that. I'll do better. I will. I've learned now, to maybe sort of contact higher up a little earlier on. And now that it's over, now that chemistry is finished, now that it's over, how are you feeling?
Much better.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Once it got handed, and do you know what your next subject is for chemistry?
Revision.
Oh, have you got a test?
Yeah, for physics as well.
Cool. When are those tests?
I think chemistry is Wednesday, but I don't know about physics.
Okay. Now, couple of things. You have a substitute teacher. Did you get the email I forwarded to you? Next week, you have a substitute teacher for psychology.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Miss Johnson spoke to me about that.
Great. She's amazing.
Yeah, she spoke to me about period 5 and 6.
Because Miss Johnson has been doing what? She's sent videos a week before you have to do them at school, every single week since the beginning, so that you could get prepared for class and do it, which is super amazing. Super amazing. She's been, and then it's been really amazing. She's communicated with me and said, listen, she sent the videos on so that you can watch them with Jenny. But Jenny also, did you know, Jenny does chemistry and sciences as well. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, she actually, she's doing psychology, but she did chemistry and sciences as well. So she's going to come on Monday so that she can look at these Piaget. Piaget's thing, it's going to have a lot of kids in it. And you don't like kids. So I think we don't know. She says because it's a substitute teacher, she doesn't know exactly how the classes are going to go. But we'll prep you. Jenny will prep you so that no matter what, you're prepared. But maybe for revision, maybe we need to talk about doing some revision. Would you like to do revision with Jenny?
Maybe.
To help you out with homework instead of psychology, because Miss Johnson's not going to be there. So we'll talk to Jenny about doing some revision for your tests. But we'll also get you ready so we'll have tutor twice a week this week, Monday and Wednesday. And with your brother going to camp this week on Monday. Your brother's going to camp on Monday. Did you know that? Yeah. And he doesn't get back till Wednesday. How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
It's going to be pretty quiet around here, isn't it? Without me and my...
Oh, you going then?
No, I'm not going. But I'm Tweedledum and he's Tweedledee. That's an Alice in Wonderland reference. They say Tweedledum and Tweedledummer. He's Tweedledum. I'm Tweedledummer. And I'll show you the cartoon. You'll understand. Anyway, the point is Finn's going to be away, so it's going to be very quiet around the place. And you'll be able to get heaps of work done and revision. But if you have any questions, you can ask Jenny. She's going to come both days.
All right.
And she's going to help you out. And we'll work out what we need to watch and what we don't. And how we can support you in revision. Okay?
Okay.
And also 5 and 6 you have off early. And she's going to come. So if you come home lunchtime on Wednesday, you'll see her early. Because you have 5 and 6 off anyway. So come home lunchtime. Right?
Yeah,
You're
so
allowed.
Am I coming home lunch?
Yeah, come home lunchtime,
Okay.
5 and 6. Have your lunch here, and Jenny will come, and then we'll do sports physiology afterwards. We'll go and see Aiden Wednesday afterwards, okay? Oh, good boy. Hey, so super proud of you and how you've worked through this and how you've managed to come through. Because now you've got a whole new chemistry thing. Do you know what you're going to be studying next? Maybe we can find out. Maybe we can find out.
I'm just... The thing is, I was also... Before this interview, I was about to do homework.
Okay, you go do your homework. I love you.
Right. You too.